Okay, so as discussed, we are doing we are discussing about manual testing and automation testing. So manual testing is something which is done by manual testers, and everyone does by doing the operations. Like, so user goes in and manually puts in whatever the operations that he wants to do, and he does the he does the testing, and then automation testing is done by a script. So all the tests will be done automatically by a program. So that's what we are trying to understand now. The tool that we are trying to use is Selenium, and then which is a UI automation tool, and if so, which will automate the user interfaces. When I say user interfaces, anything that a person can interact on using any application like google.com. So just click on that, and then if you see, you can write and type, right? This is more about user interactions. So these user interactions that we are trying to see here can be automated by using Selenium tool. Okay, and it can only automate web-based applications. When I say web-based applications here, if you see anything that can be opened on Firefox or Chrome, all those applications, right? Those applications can be automated. It cannot automate Windows-based applications, like an application which is like Notepad. It cannot automate that application, and it can also automate the mobile web and mobile web and mobile apps, mobile web apps. Mobile web applications like Chrome and stuff, and mobile applications like if you see Bank of America app or something like that, you can also automate that. But these we don't see in these classes because there's a separate thing called mobile automation. We'll be seeing more concentrating on how we can do web-based applications, but there is no big differences between this and this. The only thing is like how to launch mobile drivers will be different, but all others will be similar. So Windows based applications cannot be automated by using the uh, Windows based applications you cannot automate by using the by using Selenium. So there are other tools in the market which you can try to automate. So like Quick Test Professional is one of the tool, QTP, like which you can use for Windows based automation. You can also call them as UFT, which is called Unified Functional Test. You can also use that for automation. Okay. So why Selenium if there is something called Quick Test Professional? Because there is something which is supporting each and everything in the automation. And why Selenium is because Selenium is an open source tool. So when I say open source tool, it is freely available in the market. You don't need to pay for that. Open source will be available. It is free in the market. So you just you don't need to pay or anything for this tool. It will be freely available. You can just go ahead and use this, download this tool and use it. Whereas Quick Test Professional is a licensed tool. You have to pay for the licenses and everything, and it is having a cost associated to it. So that's why people tend to not use much. So people are now preferring Selenium because it's an open source tool, and it uses languages like Java again, which is open source. I mean, you don't need to. All the editors are free. Everything is free. Like Eclipse editor is free. And then the JDK itself is, you get it free, and all those things are free. So all the compilers, everything is free, and all the tools right associated to this are free. All the tools like Apache tools or any tools, open source tools, everything is free. So mostly because so all the applications that are coming with Selenium are free. So most of the people started using Selenium, and it's also easy to learn with the latest version, and then it is also easy to use. So that's why they started using Selenium instead of Quick Test Professional. The other big advantage of Selenium is because it's using Java, and it can also be developed by different languages like .NET. So you can also use .NET as one language. Sorry, you can use .NET as one. .NET in .NET you can use C Sharp. .NET means Microsoft Technologies. C Sharp is one of the language in Microsoft Technologies. You can use that. You can use Ruby as one of the language. You can use Python as one of the language. You can use JavaScript as one of the language. So there are many languages that you can use to develop Selenium. All languages are mostly similar except for some of the syntax things. Some rules or semantics are different, but apart from that, everything is similar. The only thing is this can be used for all Microsoft technologies. These are all scripting languages. So this is all used for Java technologies. So all these languages can be used for developing the Selenium code. So we will see only in Java language, but you can also use, it's not different, but you can also use any of these languages to develop the Selenium code. Okay. So currently Selenium, when it started the versioning, it started with Selenium IDE, which only works on Firefox. The first version was Selenium IDE, but it used to only work on Firefox, only on Firefox. So it doesn't used to work on Chrome browser or any other like Safari browser or IE browser. And then it is a record and playback tool. I'll show it when we come to Selenium. Record and playback tool. So you can record, you can play back like the scripts, right? Whatever now you're seeing, like a movie, you can just record them and you can play back using the those tools. Um, Selenium IDE, you can also convert the code into the latest versions of the tool. So using Selenium IDE, right, you can also convert your code. So basically, if you want to generate a code like for the latest versions like RC and WebDriver, so you can also do convert the code and then you can also use it in the latest versions. But this is a very specific feature, so we will just go and look into it when we go to Selenium. The next version that came up with the Selenium RC, so which is called remote control. RC is nothing but remote control. IDE is nothing but integrated development environment. So I'll just also tell what is IDE. It is integrated development environment. Okay. So the next version that we got is Selenium RC, which is called remote control. So the advantages where it used to support multi-browser. So it used to like support for different browser versions and all those things. And then it also used to run for different configurations. Run for different configurations, I mean like in one single browser, right? In Firefox you might have Firefox 32, Firefox 33, Firefox 34, Firefox 35. So you can also use something called Selenium Grid. This tool will help in running in different browsers and different versions of the single browser. So all this is possible by using Selenium Grid. So we can use Selenium RC to automate for multi-browser, and also Selenium Grid. There's another tool called Selenium Grid that came up with Selenium RC, where you can also run the same code with the different versions of the browser. So all this is possible in the next version of it. But the disadvantage is this is a keyword driven framework. So what is keyword driven framework? I'll tell you later, but it's a keyword driven framework. So because it's a keyword driven framework, it is not it cannot be, the reusability is very less or the abstraction is very less. So that's why the people were not so much good at using it. So then they came up with, someone came up with Selenium WebDriver. So the company that developed the Selenium was ThoughtWorks, and later on Google took over. When Selenium, it's not Google took over, there is another person in Google who came up with latest version called Selenium WebDriver, and even they all joined and they made the name as Selenium WebDriver. Now the latest version is called Selenium WebDriver or Selenium WebDriver 3.0. Okay. So now this is the previous versions, IDE, RC, all those things. Still the IDE is there, but it can only work on Firefox. Still the grid is there where you can test in multiple browser versions. So now the toolset is Selenium WebDriver 3.0 with IDE and grid. So RC is already obsolete. No one is using right now. So we will also see in the course content only these three tools, which is WebDriver 3.0, IDE and the grid. The grid is Selenium grid, so which is used for running the test cases in multiple browser versions. Okay. So any questions? Yes, any questions?
No, I'm good.
Kavita?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Yeah, please stop me. Okay, whenever you have any questions, you can stop me and ask me. Okay. So the next thing is, so to automate this, we have different languages. Currently, we as I said, we are using a language called Java. So Java again has a big thing. So there are a lot of concepts in Java, but we are only concentrating on core Java. The core Java is nothing but only programming of Java. How to program in Java. Okay, that's what we are concentrating on. We are not concentrating on some special tools like struts, so which might be used for some Java development, or Spring, which might be used for some Java development, or something like Hibernate. So these are all terminologies for different things in Java. These are all for development. We don't really need these things for testing. So only whatever we need is how can we program in Java. So that programming skills is what we need, and that's there in core Java, and we only learn core Java. When I say core Java, so in the core Java, we will understand how to declare variables, mm, what is class, what is Java object, and then how we can use loops, methods, and then using conditions, and then the object oriented OOPS concepts, all the OOPS concepts, and then how to do exception handling, and then how can I do the collections is nothing but data structures. It's in the latest releases they have modified a lot for data structures, and we can see it as collections. We will see what is arrays, how can we work with arrays, and we will see some of the important other concepts of Java. So first we will discuss about all other concepts and all these things for Java, like how declaring variables, classes, objects, loops, methods, and all those things. First Java. Once we cover the Java, we will also see how to automate with Selenium. So, and once we check with how to automate with Selenium, we check with how to perform multi-task execution, multi-test case execution in Selenium. So that there are some tools like TestNG, then there is some tools like Maven, there is some tools like Jenkins, there is some tool like SVN, and GitHub, etc. So how we'll work with all these tools? Some of them I'll just give overview because you don't really need more in-depth thing, because there are different tasks for different teams. But we need to understand basically what are these different tools and how we have to do all those things. So those concepts we will also understand, like TestNG, Maven tool, Jenkins tool, SVN tool, GitHub tool. But this we'll understand at the end. The first task that we'll do is to understand the Java. The second task is to understand how we can do automation in Selenium. And once we can do the Selenium testing, like once we write one test case, then we will also see how we can write multiple test cases. Because as a tester, right, we cannot test one single test. We have to test multiple test cases. So how we can do multiple test cases? So we have to actually go ahead and learn some of the tools which can help us in performing those things, like TestNG, Maven, Jenkins, SVN, GitHub, etc. So which will really help us to doing that. So that is another concept we'll learn while doing the testing. Okay, and in today's class, so we will see how to install, what to install, like basically because my machine is Mac. So what to install for starting with Java. So what to install for to start with Java is what we will understand. So I'll just tell this what to install and how to start with this, and then I'll just tell you like how to write a simple program in Java, and I'll stop this class for today. But and when we start continuing, we'll understand what is class, object, everything in Java, and then what is Java, etc. Okay. So now to install Java, if you have any questions, guys, stop me and ask me here. So whenever you are installing Java, first tool that we need is JDK, Java Development Kit. So go and download Java Development Kit latest version. So you have to go to the Java downloads, click on the Java downloads, and once you go to the Java downloads, you can see here and download the latest version of Java. Click on this one, and then you can sorry, you can just go back. You can just see here, you can see the different versions of Java. So based on your machine architecture, when I say machine architecture, mine is Mac, right? I have to install Mac OS X, so I have to download this file. If your machine is like Windows 64-bit or Windows x86-bit or Linux or whatever it is, so just go ahead and download the relative exe file or DMG file or jar file, whatever it is. So just go and download your respective files and install it. Okay. The same thing applies. If you are doing for other versions, just go ahead and relatively go into any of that 64-bit or 36-bit or 86-bit. 86 32-bit or the Mac one or Linux one. So just go ahead and download the respective versions and just install it on your machines. Okay. So there is something like 8U102 and 8U101. So just don't worry, you can install either of these versions. So either you can install the 101 or 102. So it doesn't really matter for us. So just go with the latest version. Okay. And if you want to understand some demos and samples, you have it here. So, but don't worry, I mean, you can just ignore it. So just go ahead and download the version and go by default, whatever comes in the screen, just go ahead and install next, 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 and click and complete the installation. Okay, this is one tool that you need. The second tool that we need is Eclipse. So go to the Eclipse downloads, the same thing you have to do. So once you go to the Eclipse downloads, you can go to the latest version. It's called Eclipse Neon. So you can say download 64-bit. By default, it will go and find out, I think, the Mac OS and stuff. So it is giving you, the download file. So I think it will detect automatically what kind of OS you have, and then based on that, it will give you the file. So you for your machine, for my machine, it's a Mac, so it is giving Mac 64-bit. So and then it will go and start downloading it. So but for you, if you want to download, when you click on the download, it will give you like the Windows 64-bit if you have Windows 64-bit, or Windows 32-bit if you have 86 x86. So just go ahead and download this, and you don't need to install. Some of the versions you might need to install, and some versions you don't need to install. So but just go ahead and download, you know so go and download Eclipse IDE for Java developers. See here, this one. So don't go with Eclipse IDE for Java Enterprise Edition. Just do Eclipse IDE for Java developers. This one. So just go ahead, which is 160 MB. This is very huge. So just take the simple version, the IDE for Java developers, and just start downloading it, and just go and install if it asks for install, or if it just downloads and keeps it on your system, just keep it, because sometimes this doesn't need any installation, just the exe file. Once you launch it, it will launch it. Okay. Any questions?
No.
Okay, good. Okay. So the next thing is, once you download JDK and once you have downloaded the Eclipse IDE for Java developers, you can just go and click on the Eclipse. So for me here, there's an Eclipse already installed. So once you have downloaded it, you can just open the Eclipse. So it's launching Eclipse Neon. So this is nothing but the first thing that it will ask you is for workspace. So when I say workspace, right? So workspace is nothing but the location where you want to save your projects. So you can create a folder in your C drive and say that, okay, I need to create, like, say here I can create a new folder and say my you know So I'm giving Java class Nartle. So I just go and click on create. So now I click on open. So and then now uh, I can also move that folder. Let me move that folder to a different. So now it will open a blank. So we have selected one workspace, nothing but a folder where you want to keep all your code. So once you open the Eclipse, it opens a empty nothing. So which has no projects or anything. If you want to try samples, you can try samples, but don't worry. I mean, you just ignore that, and you go to the file, and you can also create a new Java project. So if you want to create a new Java project, you can create a new Java project from the file. And if you want to view something, navigate or view, you have a lot of menu bars here. So Eclipse is an IDE, integration development environment for Java developers. So this will help you to develop Java code, or you have to write Java code. Eclipse will help you to write the code. So once you have launched the tool, you can also go and explore what is there on the Eclipse. In the file menu, you can just go ahead and go and create a package, everything, and all those things. We'll discuss more about this, all these things, because in the class we'll be discussing all the stuff. You can also open an existing project, rename, refresh, save, import, export, close, all those stuff. You can also edit, cut, copy, paste, and all those things. You can also navigate to the project and go and forth and back and everything. You can also search something in the project, all those stuff. You can also build the project, means you can also run the project, compile the project, all those things automatically. So everything is there in project folder to run some things, right? To debug the program. So all these things are present in run folder. And to minimize the window, all this window folder and help folder, to get some information or to install some plugins, everything is present in the help folder of the Eclipse. So you can just go and also find out in internet. Eclipse is a open source tool again. The Eclipse will help you to develop some code for developing some code using Java, and you can develop small applications to big enterprise level applications. So everything will be done in using Eclipse tool. So most of the people also uses Eclipse tool as their development environment. But there are other tools, competitors in the market, apart from Eclipse. So people also starts using. There is something called IntelliJ. So you can also use IntelliJ, means it's an alternative for Eclipse. You can use Eclipse. Most of the projects will use Eclipse. You can also use IntelliJ. You can also use NetBeans. You can also use Spring Framework. I mean Spring Tool Suite. It's called STS. So any of these can be used for your Java development. So but we are only using one tool, which is nothing but Eclipse. So but it's not different from one tool to another. 90% of the functionalities are similar. There's a small change, and then some tools can do better than some other tools. So but you don't need to worry. All tools will support whatever we want, the basic Java development, and you can use any of those tools to do develop the code. Okay. In the Eclipse, we can write a small Java project to find out whether it is working fine or not. Once you have installed all the Eclipse and stuff, you can find out whether it is working fine or not. How you can find? You can just go and create a new project and check if it is running correctly. So you can just create a new Java project. So once you create a Java project, it is asking the JDK versions here. See, your JRE is nothing but Java runtime environment. So these things I'll explain what is JRE, what is JDK tomorrow. tomorrow or day after. So this is the JRE or JDK, whatever you have installed, the first tool, and then it is asking you to give the project name. So then you can just give as Java first project, and then just click on finish. So it will create a project, and you can also go and navigate and go to the project. Okay, so just it was not maximizing. So this is the views. So it was showing on the main, just the open window. So here we are just looking at all the different views. So there are a lot of different views. So we are going through the Java view now. So we're viewing the Java code. So there are different menu bars. You don't need to really worry about all those stuff. Uh, so everything I've closed. So once you created Java project, file new Java project. So it will create a blank Java project. It will also show you the Java's libraries that we really need for development of Java, which is called Java runtime environment. So if you want to create a simple project, you can create a new class here. For any program that you want to run in Java, you have to create a class in Java. So once you create a class, it will ask you for the name of the class. So there is detailed structure also. We can discuss in next classes. But for now, to just verify whether the Java is working fine or not, we're just creating a simple Java class. So which is called test class. So under the test class, once it is created, we just need for to run any program in Java, we need to have a main method. So I'll take a shortcut here. So generally we have to write public static void main, and then we have to write string of args. So this is the general format of main method. So what is public, what is static, void, what is void, we'll just discuss everything in the coming classes. So this is a main method in Java. So the main method tells that the program starts from here. So this is mandatory and required for any program. So in the Java, we have to mention where the program is getting started. So when I say main, right? So that's where my program is started. So we'll just write a small print statement, which is nothing but system.out.println. So this is already Java comes up with some of the functions. So one of the function that we have from Java is to print something, so which is already present in Java. We don't need to really create any code for it. So if you want to print something, there are some already libraries which is already written, and we are just using those libraries to print something. Okay, system.out.println. So println means print line, or you can also just do print, and then in the print I'm just giving a string. So hello world. So this is nothing but you just need to print something in the console. You can just do that, and you can save the program, and you can right click on the class that you have created, and you can say run as Java application. So once you have created the program, so you need to go to the folder and save it. Or once you compile, also it will automatically. Once you run, also it automatically saves it. So right click on the class and then say run as, and you can say Java application. So once you run and save as Java application, it is printing now the hello world, means your Java is running fine and your Eclipse is is working perfectly, and you are able to see whatever the results that you wanted to have here. So if this is state of your machine, then everything is all set. uh, and then you can start working on any of the projects or any of the whatever we wanted to create and learn in Java. We can use this Eclipse tool. So now it is ready to use. So any questions, guys?
No.
Okay. So you will do the setup, right? If you have any, if you need anything, I can do. If you need any help, I can help you in mentoring that stuff. But it's a simple installation. Just go ahead and install the two tools. So one is Java uh, JDK tool, which is 8 version, 1.8 version, and then the Eclipse tool, which is Neon version. So just go ahead and install both the tools and make the environment ready. So from in the next class, I'll just give the introduction to the Java, how what is Java and how we can use Java. So there are some terminology that we have seen, right? Like what is JDK, what is JRE, so what is getting as a compiler, all those stuff. So in the next class, we will see how we will do work with all those things, and we will extend our programs a little bit to see what is Java classes and objects, etc. So any questions? Um,
No, good for now.
Yeah, good. Yes, good.
Okay, so next we'll have a class on Monday, same time 9, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then we'll have one class based on the discussion, whatever we have. Um, so the timings, I would prefer 9. But if you have any